Yo 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 yo! Welcome to a very special edition of the Wrassingh Show. Today's episode is dedicated to a real-life superhero, Shad Gaspard, and the beautiful memories that he has left behind in the form of the Cryme Tyme. Joining us today is author, entrepreneur, professional wrestler, and my dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one half of the world's most famous tag team, the Cryme Tyme's very own JTG. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrassingh Show. And today episode is much different because today I'm not here talking to a wrestler. I'm here talking to my very own brother, my good friend, one half of the Cryme Tyme. I'm here with JTG. Jay, it's such an honor to have you here. How are you doing today?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I'm doing great today on this
That's
beautiful
great.
afternoon.
That is great. So how are you handling this pandemic? How's everything? Is wrestling going on for you or is it on hold?
I mean, I got a few shows booked. We're gonna see if it doesn't make sure it doesn't get canceled last minute, because that's been the case for the
Yeah.
past couple of months. Have shows and the promoter seems headstrong, and then a week or two later they're like, "Oh, we got to cancel because of restrictions and the whole quarantine and social distancing thing." So we'll see. I got a few things lined up. I always keep my fans and followers posted on my social media.
Uh,
So
you're
we'll
a
see.
busy man. You're a busy man. You've got a
I
lot
try to
of
stay
stuff.
busy.
Good to be busy. So you've got you're not just a wrestler. You are an entrepreneur now. You have your own brand, sexy as hell. Beard care, and then you
Big
have
Care.
your tab. How are they doing?
Oh, the Big Care is doing great. The next big step is mass production. So um, that's the next big step. But I got other projects I'm working on. So that hasn't been my main focus. And then I also have the app I'm constantly updating and
Right.
staying creative on. Um, was it? I just booked a commercial this a week ago. So yeah, I'm staying busy, and I have two other projects I'm launching in the fall. I'm launching a fitness ebook.
Really?
I get a lot of compliments on my arms. Every time I go to the gym, yeah, you get your arms so big. Damn, your arms are big. How big are you? Have you measured your arms? And what kind of exercises do you do? And what's your routine? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop an ebook
That is great.
just
That
for
is
biceps, just for
great.
arms.
Wow. I
And then
need
I
that
got
too because mine are
yeah,
small.
yeah. It's about a 6 week program, and they're all different exercises for the 2 days that you're gonna train your arm.
Oh,
I have a routine that I use, and I'm gonna lay out all the secrets and let everybody know how to
really?
big arms for beginners. Yeah,
Okay, that's interesting. I'm intrigued. I really want to buy it. That is great.
okay.
And then you have your AEW debut coming up, right?
Ha. If 2020, we'll see what 2020 has in store for wrestling fans. That would be a treat for them.
2020 has indeed been a hard year. The whole pandemic. It's just been a loss of life all around the world, and especially the loss of our good friend, your brother Shad. So
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Jay, that you had to go through whatever happened. It was very unexpected, and it's still hard to accept the reality of the situation that Shad is not here with us physically, at least. How
Yeah,
are
well,
you?
he's always here with me. I always feel
Yeah,
him. I always hear Shadow roasting me when
no,
I do something,
of course. No, no, no.
do
So,
something crazy.
and I'm pretty sure Shad. He was a guy. He was so full of love, and it's
Mhm.
like people have nothing but good things to say about him. People love him, and he was the same way. He had nothing bad to say about anyone ever. He was so full of love, and
Positive, very
sure that he's
positive.
watching out for you, and he's watching out for all of his family, his supporters, everybody. He was such a great guy. When he was here, he did nothing but good for the people, and I'm sure that he continue to do so, and he'll have nothing but love for all of us and blessings for us. So, Cryme Tyme has been a big part of my childhood. My first video game, and this was something that I told you when I was fanboying when we did our first interview back in 2018. So you were the
Hmm.
first guy I ever had the pleasure of interviewing, Jay, really. And I
Oh,
told you
that's
that
dope.
my first game ever was SmackDown versus Raw 2008. And the Crime
Mm.
Time was on that game. And you guys were the reason why I loved that game. And here's the funny part: I got into the wrestling video game before I got into wrestling. So basically, you guys
Really?
were the reason, or should I say, your game animation, graphics were the reason that I got into wrestling. So thank you. So,
Well, I do what I can.
so Crime Time has been a part of so many of our lives, and through this interview, let's think of the past days. Let's think of the things that we saw in the past, things that we saw on camera, things that we did not see on camera. Let's remember the good days and the hard days, and let's cherish the memories that we have of the Crime Time. So, Jay,
Yes.
let's go back to the early 2000s, all right? It is your first amateur show, and you meet a guy called Shad Gaspard. What are your first thoughts on him?
I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna make an impression in the amateur class. I'm definitely gonna get seen and noticed because this guy's already on TV.
Yeah.
And so if birds of a feather flock together. So I want to flock with this guy. I want to flock with this guy.
So how was Shad like? He was on TV and all that stuff. So did he have any bit of an ego, or was he like super humble, super friendly? How was he at
I would
first?
definitely friendly. I wouldn't say he was super humble, but he was definitely friendly.
As a Shad being Shad. And what year
Yeah.
was this, Jay? What was the year?
Wow. What year was this? I believe it was 2000. No, no, no. Yeah, it was 2000. Was
So,
it 2004?
so it was before.
Four,
So
five?
it was before you guys met at AEW. It was before that.
OVW. Yeah, it was before we.
Yeah,
No, no, no. It was at OVW. I remember I was 19
yeah,
when we teamed up. Yeah. So
yeah.
if you do the math, yeah.
Beautiful. So, so you started off your career, and then in OEW, you're paired up with Shad. So when you're starting off the career, before you met Shad, what did you have in mind? Did you want a solo run, or did you want, a tag team, or did you have no like bias towards any? You were like,
Oh
okay,
no, I was um I was solo, and then I my first tag team partner was actually Abraham Washington,
right,
and we did a similar gimmick without the stealing, and it was just pretty much us coming out with bulletproof vests and we'll call the gang stars. So that
right.
I give you an idea of what the name alone will give you the idea of the gimmick. And he was going through some personal issues, and Danny Davis and Al Snow, they saw a lot of potential in me. They knew I had something to offer the wrestling world.
They were
So they
right.
didn't just yeah they didn't just want to uh leave me off to the side. So they knew that me and Shad were cool, and they decided to put Shad and I together.
That is great. So you never had this feeling, in your early days or early months that, maybe I wanted to do solo or tag team. You had nothing like that. You were fine with being a tag team, yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely fine with being a tag team, and in OVW, you just want a shot. You just want to get your foot in the door. So even if you had singles plans, but they said that they're gonna put you in a tag team, and you're gonna go to WWE, be going Raw. You just take the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Jay, we talk about OVW. I cannot miss this because not a lot of people know about this. Your
Uh-huh.
first name was, I believe it was Just Too Good, JTG, Just Too Good. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My first name was just too good because I had a little bit of an ego when I was in OVW because I was in my amateur class. I trained with Rip Rogers, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that I was one of his favorites because I was just too good.
Yeah, Too Good. So,
And I used to make it very obvious in my promos, and we did have promo class that I
right.
was just too good in JTG. Yeah.
So that's how JTG, came about, Just Too Good.
Yep.
Wow. And why did you decide to leave the Just Too Good and just go ahead with the acronym of JTG?
Um, well, when I got to WWE, I had to humble myself. You know, that just too good being a role will not get you too far. So
Right.
it went from just too good to just that gangster. And
I,
now from just that gangster, I'm Jay the God right now. That's what it stands for, Jay the God.
I see. And
You have to
what
go
were
through
your,
phases in your life in your career.
yeah. And what were your thoughts on, Shad's name that was the Beast? I know that he still used the Beast because his Instagram handle was ShadBeast13. But what were your
Yeah,
thoughts on him? Like, was it like an appropriate name? I think that was a much more appropriate name. The Beast suits the Shad much more than it suits Brock Lesnar. I think Shad is the real Beast.
yeah. I think it was because of trademark issues or
Oh,
whatever issues they had. So I think he just went ahead with Shad Gaspard, and I don't think that they knew that was his real name because I don't think they would have let him use it. But yeah,
right,
he was
right.
able to pull it off.
So here's another interesting thing about your team of with Shad and you is that in your first match as a team together, you guys actually won the OVW Southern Tag Team Championship. So how
Yeah,
did
our
that
first.
make you feel like the first time you're teaming up with Shad and you're winning the title?
I think that was a sign of good things to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys must be so
yeah.
you guys
One
must
week I
be so
wrote
proud
from
of yourself. Yeah.
yeah, I was sitting on the sidelines. My first partner quit on me, and I was trying to think like, what am I gonna do now? Like, what is gonna be my way in? I need to find a way to get my foot in the door. And then a week later, I debut. I make my first television appearance. It wasn't my first match, but it was a television
Yeah.
appearance. And
Okay.
then the week after that, we have a match and we win the titles. And then and from there, the ball started rolling.
That is beautiful. And the ball started rolling. And then your next feud, right after you won the titles, it was with CM Punk and Kane. So,
We wrestled CM Punk and Kane. Yeah, we wrestled. We used to have this show called what is it called? The Six Flags Super Summer Series. You can't
okay.
say that five times fast.
Yeah.
And it was like a big show. That was like our SummerSlam,
Okay.
and then the WWE would send like a WWE superstar to help promote the show, that week we had Kane, and they just don't let any of the talent wrestle the guys from WWE because they don't want them to get hurt.
Yeah.
Go back and we can't. You injured one of our stars. We're not gonna send anybody back. So they had to have like some trusted opponents, and Shad
Okay.
and I were fit the bill.
And how did you feel? Like, were you nervous before you stepping
I
into
was I
the
was I was honored, and I was anxious to get in the ring. I don't know what it is, but when I perform or when I'm going to perform in front of thousands of fans, I don't get nervous really. I never really get nervous. I get anxious because I'm ready to get out there, but I'm never nervous and I'm always confident. I'm just pretty confident in myself. And wrestling Kane, I was like, it was definitely an honor, especially being at that level.
I know it's incredible. You just mentioned about them assigning the duty of wrestling the WWE wrestlers to a trusted guy, a trusted superstar, because here the issue of safety comes into play. So how you're such a big wrestler. So tell us something that how difficult is it for like a newcomer to train to be a safe worker? Because when you're training to hurt somebody, that's one thing. But when you train
Mhm.
to hurt somebody while also taking care of them, how difficult is that and how many challenges do you feel?
Um, at first it could be overbearing. It could be a lot because the thought of you want it to look like it hurts, but you don't want to hurt your opponent. Yeah, it takes years and years of training. That's why you have to go with me. I for 2 3 years straight, I was training to be the professional wrestler that I am today, and I didn't. I probably only missed like one or two trainings, but but every day I was not every day, but I would say 4 3 days out of the week I was in the OVW wrestling ring honing in on my skills and perfecting my craft.
I see. I see. You know, people don't realize it when they see wrestling, the wrestling ring, the wrestling superstars. They see all this big, huge, glamorous life and glamorous lights, cameras, action. They don't really realize the work that gets into it and the struggle that you guys go through. So this brings me to a question that a lot of people they don't realize that when you're a wrestler and you're rising up the ranks you are actually still working a 9 to 5 job because you cannot really, earn a living just through wrestling when you're a trainer or you superstar. So how was it with you guys, with you and Shad, when you were, in OEW or in the early stages of your career? Were you also working different jobs, or how did it, how was life outside of the ring?
Oh yeah, when we were in OVW, yeah, if you're not on a contract, you definitely have to work. I
Right.
know Shad did security at a lot of the popular clubs in Louisville, Kentucky, and I worked at a daycare at a gym at Gold's Gym, so I could get a free workout. Because if you're an aspiring professional wrestler, your second home needs to be in the gym. You need to be at the gym. And I worked my daycare job at Gold's Gym, and then I had training. So you have training, you have working out, and then you have your job. You have a pretty busy schedule.
Schedule. And I
Yeah.
believe that this gym, Gold's Gym in Venice, was like Shad's second home. He was always there. Like every time I open Instagram and I see Shad's story, he's there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah. That when I go to when he was here and I would go to Goals, I just knew I was gonna bump into him. I didn't even have to call him. Like I'm gonna work out with Shad today. Usually you would call your workout partner and be like, "Hey, let's work out today." I just went to the gym and I knew he was gonna be there.
Well, so work is work, and wrestling is wrestling. What about fun? So when you were in OEW, and you would just won the tag titles, or you just wrestled Kane, what did you do for an after party? How did you celebrate? What did you do for fun?
Well, Louisville is not really there's not too much to do in Louisville, Kentucky, but there is a street in Louisville called 4th Street, and that's where all the clubs are, like on one street. And you probably go there, get a table, pop some bottles. I
Good.
think when I got my WWE contract, I celebrated at PF Chang's.
Oh,
Some of
really?
my wrestlers took me to PF Chang's and we had dinner. And then we did some what are those shots called? Um Sake. Yeah, we did some sake.
I have no idea. Here's the thing. I'm straight edge. I've never had any drink. I've never smoked. So I'm like the last person who would know anything about shots.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, keep it up, man. That's the secret to your beauty.
Yeah. You got it. Oh God. So you just spoke about WWE, and here's a very interesting part. Like I was like wowed when I came to know about the first time because May 2006, you guys win the OEW tag titles, and November 2006, you are in a pay-per-view of WWE. That is, you are actually won that pay-per-view. You won that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And it was a four tag teams, and you guys defeated three other tag teams, and you won it. What a crazy, crazy ride! So, how did it feel from going to OEW and in just a few months you were in a pay-per-view of WWE in front of 15,000 strong people in the audience and millions watching around the globe? How was it?
Yeah, that was definitely mind blowing because everything was happening so fast. It was
Right,
like you said,
right.
it just I got when we did the TV with we won the titles in Louisville. What you said that was
Yeah, May. Yeah,
And then I get signed in June, and
right,
then we're on the road in what I will say about August. We're on the road.
right. And I think so.
July, late July, August, we're on the road doing TV, doing dark matches, doing
Right.
house shows with
Yeah,
WWE, and then we make our debut in September.
yeah.
Our Vignettes debuted in September. Then October we made our debut in the Staples Center, and then we have our pay-per-view match in November, and we win. It was
Crazy.
like everything was happening so fast. It was hard. I wasn't able to really process all the information.
I
It
know.
was just a lot. It was a lot. especially being 21 too, is like it was a lot. Yeah, it happened.
So young, at such a young age, all of that.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. So, you got to tell me, I'm curious. When you made your way through the gorilla position, and I know that you said you're not nervous when you perform in front of the crowd or nothing, but when you made your way through the gorilla and you entered the audience, Staples Center, so many people, how did that make you feel? People are cheering you on, your music is hitting, it is your moment. From OEW, from Gold's Gym, you are there at the Staples Center, the spotlight's on you and Shad. How did that feel? I mean, that's every guy's dream, that everybody's dream to be there. And you were living that dream.
Yeah, I could tell you right now, I was really amped. I was hype. I was lit. That's what the kids are saying now. I was lit. And I was like, I think I had like 2 Red Bulls. And when we went through Gorilla and I heard our music, and I wasn't expecting the crowd to really gravitate towards us like that because we were new. You really don't have the fans' approval or validation. Maybe not the first, not your first match, but they were showing a lot of love in LA. That's why I live here now. And as you could, if you ever watch that video back when I came through, I was so hyped. My chain popped off, my hat flew off. I was just all over the place. I was turned up.
Beautiful. And can you tell us if you remember anything that Shad must have said to you that night, or anything that he did that made that night that you still remember?
It was so many years. I can't remember exactly what he said. I know we talked. I know we were proud of each other. We were like, we made it. We did it. We were very excited. I think that night we all went out to eat to this barbecue restaurant in Venice. And we were just enjoying life at that moment. We were enjoying life. Um, Prior to that, I was a little nervous when Shad, because he was late. He missed his flight. I was like, we're about to debut, and this guy
Oh
misses
God,
his flight.
really? Oh Jesus.
Yeah, but he was able to get on the next. He recovered. He dropped the ball and then he picked it right back up, and we slam dunked it. So
That is hilarious. I can imagine the panic.
oh my gosh, yeah, I think that was the last time I think I almost had a heart attack. It was like I can't believe our debut in the Staples Center, and this
I,
guy this is his fight.
so, I just mentioned the gorilla position, and I have to ask you, can you tell us like a little secret or something about the very famous gorilla position? How do things, go around in that place? How does it work?
Gorilla position. That's pretty much like I would say that's the. I'm gonna say that's the the brains of the operation, and then the TV truck. I'll say that's the heart of it because that's where all the TV angles. Well, Vince is in the gorilla position, so yes, that's the brains of the operation. He's telling what camera, where to go. It's very busy in there. Like if you go there during a match, Vince is giving out instructions. He's talking to the commentators. He's giving instructions to
The-
the cameraman. He's giving instructions to the guy in the back who picks the angles for each
So
for each um for each TV scene, huh?
Vince does all of that.
He does pretty much all of that. Yeah,
Crazy.
he's he's constantly shouting directions. Let me get the hard cam. I go back to the camera guy. All right, zoom into the audience. All right, I like that shot. All right, zoom pan out, and he's just like a evil genius back there, working his magic.
How can you have your mind on so many things, from the commentator to the cameras? That's insane. I mean, I guess that's what makes him
And
Vince
he's watching the match. He's in the ref's ear too because he talks to the ref and the ref talks to us. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah,
crazy. That's crazy.
whoever taking his position after that has some big shoes to fill.
Definitely. So, speaking of Vince and speaking of gorilla position, you've actually written 2 books, that are based on heat, and they are called "Damn, Why Did I Write This Book?" and "Damn, Why Did I Write This Book Too?" And
Yes, sir.
can you tell us something about heat? I remember asking you this question 2 years ago, and you told me that if you wear shades backstage, you're gonna get heat. So I'm gonna take off my shades for a second for this
Yeah.
question. You can tell me about and has it changed over the years at all? Tell me.
I definitely think the backstage scene in the wrestling world has changed a lot. I think a lot of those uh things that a lot of people got heat for, that goes back to the veterans of it trickled down from the 70s and 80s, and I think that crowd of professional wrestlers is not there anymore. So I think things lightened up a lot. So I think it's cool to wear it now, to wear shades indoors.
Oh,
You can put it back on, but heat is pretty much, like a dark cloud that's hovering over a professional wrestler. Nobody wants, it's like the cooties for adults. So that's the best way to put it. Nobody wants to interact with you because they don't want to get heat by association. Oh, you're affiliated with that guy, or you got heat now too because uh, you're with him.
I see. I see.
Yeah, nobody wants. Yeah, it's the COVID of the wrestling industry.
Very well said. Go with other. That's
Go
right.
go over there and quarantine yourself. You have to have some social distancing if
That
you
is
got COVID.
that's hilarious. Oh yeah, you gotta wear the mask. Don't talk. Keep your distance from the people that are infected. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Great. Very good. Wow. Actually, that's very good. I'm gonna use it a lot. I'm gonna steal that. It's very good.
No problem. Go ahead. I've stolen enough of my past. I got to
Stolen.
be okay.
I'm
It's
a part.
karma.
I'm a part of Crime Time now. I'm stealing stuff. So Shad. Shad was a guy who I know a little bit about him, how he handled things that were not right, and how he handled racism and stuff like that. So he was very vocal about it. He did not, from what I know, is that he did not tolerate things that were not right, and he spoke up. So
Yeah.
has it ever happened in the past that you guys got heat, which you did not deserve? Has that ever happened, and has how has Shad reacted to it, if it's ever happened?
Um. We Shad definitely speaks up. He speaks up and speaks his mind.
Yeah.
Um. I remember the first time we got fired from WWE. Shad spoke up for me, especially because we got called into the office. The main guy of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. He talked to us and told us, how good of a job we were doing, how over we was, and he saw so much potential, but he's gonna have to let us go.
Mm.
And it was like kind of like a big like, what? I
Right.
think you can't just fine us. Like, you really gonna fire us? And Shaq like, he spoke up and he said, hey Johnny, it was my mistake. I messed up. That my tag team partner doesn't deserve this. He still deserves his career, his job. This is his dream. Is that I'm the one who messed up and I want to take full responsibility for it. And John Owen and I was like really impressed, and I was impressed too. Like, oh wow, okay. And then he was like, "No, you guys are a team. I just can't keep one of you guys, so we'll have to fire you both." And it was like, wow, that the gesture itself was just, I was amazed by
That's just Shad. That's just Shad.
it.
The reason I asked this question is because I told you that 2 months ago I had an interview with Chad, and when I was promoting it, there was one online troll who got in the comments and he was calling Chad out, and he was throwing racist insults at him, and I
Mhm.
can't tolerate it, so I deleted his comments, and then he got back again, and again he was doing that, and Chad got in the comments, and Chad was replying to him and trying to shut him down. And I was like, this is just purely disrespectful. I blocked that guy. And then, Shad messaged me. He's like, AJ, unblock him, put him back on. I'm like, Shad, I can't. He's just like, he's a crazy guy. You just don't have to deal with it. He's like, AJ,
Yeah.
that when people, they're racist, you got to expose them. And when people, they're doing something wrong, you got to expose them. If you silence them, that's fine. They're gonna get silenced on this page. They're gonna go to some other page and they're gonna do what they're doing here. So you gotta call them out. You gotta expose them. You gotta make them realize what they're doing. And that touched me.
Hmm.
And I unblocked
Uh-huh.
him. Shad talks back, and he shut him down. So that's Shad being Shad. You just don't stand, just don't stay quiet when people are doing stuff like that. You got to speak up. So I learned a lot from Shad in such a less
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah, most of the trolls on that I encounter on social media, they don't even use their real uh, profile name, or it's just a troll account. So that sometimes I ignore them, but if they have like a full page and you have like your
Yeah,
job and your thing on there, oh, I'm going to
right.
screenshot some stuff. I'm going to hold
Yeah.
you accountable to those
Yeah.
words you said.
Exactly. They deserve that. They deserve that. So because they don't realize that mental health is a real thing. And okay,
Mhm.
you're firing insults at somebody who's strong, who is strong will die. It might not hurt him, but the thing is that if you're firing insults at somebody, let's say, who's more vulnerable and who's
Mhm.
more on the soft side, he's going to take it harshly, and it might affect his mental health. And this is something that people don't realize. But hopefully, in the future, people will be more, understanding and respectful.
We
So,
shall see. I don't think so on social media.
no, Jay, we were just talking about your first run in the WWE. I have a question that how it ended because you had a feud going on with Lance Cade and Trevor, and in the middle of it, the feud did not even get over when you were released. So, what exactly was the reason? Like, what exactly went down?
Oh, why we got fired?
Yes, why in the middle of the feud? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got fired because we were working. I put it in my book too. If anybody want more details, the first book, Dan, where I write this book. Um, it was a prank gone wrong, and we put our hands on the ref. So the ref was part of the prank, and Shad kind of seen it go down, and when Shad sees something, he reacts
Yeah.
very fast. And we had to keep the spirits up of the crowd because the prank was done in front of a live
I see.
audience,
I
and
see.
it was kind of an awkward type of energy out there. And Shad wanted to make sure that we left the fans, and with
Here.
the spirits high. So Shad put the ref in our finishing position. Shad puts him up on the shoulders like in the Samoan drop position. I hit the ropes, and we do our finish. We that referee, they know how to bump. They're trained to wrestle as well.
Right.
And but we were told never to put your hands on the ref, and you put your hands on an official, they have to let you go. That was very unprofessional, especially if it was not scripted.
I see.
So yeah.
Well,
There's more details in my book. I get into all the details. So that's just a plug to go buy the book on Amazon.
it is damn why I write this book on Amazon. It's available for Kindle and ebook, correct?
And Google Play audiobooks also available if you don't want to read.
Awesome. Perfect. So, WWE might have released you at that time, but they just wanted Crime Time back. And you were back in 2008. And you guys, in your return match, you actually defeated the guys you were feuding with earlier. That was Cade and Murda, and Trevor. So that was like a little sweet, return. And after,
Yeah.
yeah, well, and what was going through your mind through that time? Was there like, yeah,
When we found out we had the rest of them, it was kind of like oh, God. But I knew what Vince wanted to get that animosity out the way, and the best way to get that animosity, to clear the air, is to actually work. Is to actually work and wrestle them.
I see.
So, because if we didn't wrestle them, it would kind of been like that awkward avoiding. You know what I mean? So I think that's Vince's way of squashing the beef. Like, just make them wrestle each other, get it out the way right now.
I see, I see, I see. So you after that teamed up with John Cena, and you gave birth to the CTC. That's Crime Time is a Nation. How was your experience with that whole thing?
That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun working with John Cena, and especially being in the main event. Um, that was the first. Well, besides OVW, that was the first time in my WWE career that we were able to work a lot of main event spots on the house shows and on the main event. the show itself, main event, when they brought that back for
Yeah.
a hot minute. That was fun.
So, this brings a question up because, Shad's GoFundMe page, there was a user who donated a lot of money, a big amount, under the name of CTC, and there were some speculation that this was John Cena. Was there ever a confirmation who was this person?
There was never confirmation, but I definitely believe that was John Cena.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
That is the incredible, actually. So, there were sweet times. You had your run with John Cena, but in 2010, Shad, he attacked you. And you guys had this feud that I will never forget. You guys were my childhood heroes, and like he's attacking you. Uh, but before we get into that feud, I have a question about your entrance musics because you had still retained the Cryme Tyme music, but Chad was given a much more generic, I don't even know, like create a superstar kind of music. Why?
Yeah, I know. I think that's the biggest one of the biggest things to make a professional wrestler successful is his theme song.
Yes.
And we were just doomed from the start. They should already had music for us. Because they've been talking about the split for a while, so we should have been geared up for new music. And
Exactly.
I kept the Cryme Tyme music, and I went to Vince's office, and I couldn't wait to get new theme music. I wanted to get in the studio with Jim Johnson and cook something up real nice, but
Yeah.
I never got that opportunity, and it just kept me with the Cryme Tyme music. And as you can see today, I got my own music.
Beautiful.
Everybody loves it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It was like, wow, incredible. How did that come about? Who was the genius behind the music? Was it you?
No, my one of my best friends from back home, he's an artist,
Incredible.
and he has a great catalog of music. And I heard that beat, and I'm like, that's a great theme song. Can you hook a brother up? You got me. He's like, I'm gonna go to the studio, and let me know what you think. And I heard that, and I was like, that's it.
So you gotta really upload that on YouTube or somewhere because I want to listen to the full version. I got only 20 seconds from Instagram, and I was like, "Yo, I'm using this one on my post." So
Okay,
yeah, but I can't wait to hear the full version of it. So
thanks.
I'm glad to hear that you also did not like Shad's music. I'm glad to hear I was not the only one.
Yeah.
He's such a give him a good music. But
Yeah.
yes.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that seeing the two of you compete was hard for me because it was much worse than seeing Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy compete. Like that, when they fought, I was like, but when you guys fought, I was like, oh no,
Uh,
this is not right. This does not feel right. How did you feel when you were fighting your brother Shad?
I know we wanted to have a great match. That's all I remember. That we wanted to have like a show stealer type of match, but we had an agent, and the agent was like restricting everything. Like we wanted to go all the way out, and we're like, we want to do this. He's like, I don't know. I don't think we should do that. That might take away from the other matches, and it was like we got limited a lot, and we got and what we produce is what they allowed us to do pretty much.
I see. But you
Yeah.
guys have such like charisma and such a love from the fans. Still, no matter how limited you were, people will remember the moment that, you guys broke up and you guys had this feud. They will remember it. I know that for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you guys have such a love and, such charisma. Anyways, after your feud was over, Shad, he was sent back to FCW. Were you not mad at the decision? Like, why? He is a trained wrestler. He's great in the ring. Why would they send him back?
From what I was told, Shad is a very big guy, and they wanted him to be a monster heel, and I don't think he had that that monster heel that Vince was looking for yet. He had to work more like a big man. Big guys are very different from when wrestling than if I'm wrestling a regular size, not regular size, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
They work different. They work a little bit much slower, methodically, and they make big moves. Less is more.
I
and
see.
I think they sent him back down to FCW, to hone in on those skills.
I see. I see. And you had this, the solo run. You did SmackDown, you did NXT. How was that?
NXT was a lot of fun. At first, it was kind of when I found out I was going to be a vet on NXT. I kind of was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it turned out to be a lot of fun. I worked with Jacob Novak, and then when he got eliminated, I worked with Darren Young, and I enjoyed working with Darren Young. I also wanted to start a tag team. We had some tag team ideas to we pitched, and it didn't get too far, but I was having fun. I would let you know I was having fun with Darren Young.
That is great. That's great. So
Yeah,
there was one moment that I remember very well. It's when Alicia Fox, she gave you a makeover of some sort. So what were
yeah.
your thoughts on that makeover?
That makeover was supposed to come with a lot of things. That makeover was supposed to be me transitioning from jeans to trunks,
Right.
and potentially even a new theme song. You need, if you're gonna do the repackage, you need to get the whole. And they just refused to give me new theme music. I'm like, man,
Why?
because
Why?
as much as I love Crime Time, I wanted to detach myself from that, that look and brand, that persona.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're doing so much. They're giving you a makeover. They're doing all these things. Why not just give you a new music? How hard is that? I
I
just,
get to the, I guess it's pretty hard. I guess.
anyways. So,
No,
yes,
and
go ahead.
that's why, because I had that music, that the music you hear, I had that since I was in WWE.
Right.
So like, since you guys don't want to make the music for me, I'm gonna make my own. And my buddy did
Oh,
that for me, and they
yeah.
still didn't use it.
I love this music. So, Jay, 2010, that very same year when he was sent back to FCW, Shad was finally he was released. He was let go of the company. So, how did you feel? Did you feel like, this is not right, or did you feel like, oh, okay, he got his independence. He's gonna do great things, outside of the company. What did you feel?
I no, I didn't think positive at all. I was like, damn, the homie got released.
Yeah,
He's gonna have to go to independence and make a name for himself if he wants to come back. But at that time, I think Shad was now had his head focused on Hollywood,
I see. Yeah, definitely.
and everything happened in time. He started doing a lot of auditions, started getting booked for a lot of things, and then yeah, he I think that could have been definitely a blessing in disguise.
And 2010 was like a special year for Shad because it was
Yeah.
the year when his son Araya was born. And
Hmm.
when I interviewed Shad, he was such a sweet guy. He brought Araya, he brought his cats, his dogs, he brought his wife, and I could just tell that Shad is such a family man, so full of love, so transparent.
Yeah.
And do you remember the day when he was born and how was Shad's, how did he react? How happy, excited he was?
When Araya was born, um, no, I wasn't. I don't remember the day, but I remember he was so excited, and he was like sending pictures out, and he was like already saying how strong he was. I'm like, Shad, really, how strong he was? Like, you should see how he grips my finger. Like, he's not the average baby. I'm like, okay, Shad. But yeah, Shad, Araya is a great kid. He's still boxing. And he's gonna, if he does go into fighting, he has I know he's gonna have an amazing career because he's
Definitely.
been training. Chad had him training since he was young. So a lot of stuff that the average kid doesn't know at their age, he's been surpassed that.
Definitely.
Right.
I used to see Shad's Instagram stories, at the beach, and Araya is there. They're at the beach,
Shadow box.
all the time. I'm like, this kid loves fighting. And he's gonna be a great, whatever he does at boxer, MMA, or wrestling, he's gonna be just great, fantastic at it. And he has Shad's blessing, and he has the love of everybody. So I'm excited for his future. Really,
Yeah, same here.
it's gonna be great. So, Jay, Shad was released, but he was determined, did not stop. He signed with the Japanese promotion. He wrote his comic book, Assassin and the Sun. He was even Kratos. And also, he worked Bollywood, Hollywood. He's the only person who did both Marvel as well as DC. He did great stuff. He was great
Yeah.
at. And at the same time, you were doing, great in WWE. You did NXT, you did SmackDown. But how were you feeling? Were you waiting for your contract to run out, or were you happy with the solo run? What did you think was next for you after?
I would definitely say towards the end of my career, I was pretty much waiting for my contract to be up.
Yeah,
After a certain wild talent, after pitching so many ideas and
I could
getting
imagine.
shut down and seeing some of your ideas be used, get tweaked a little bit and used for other talent, and that takes a big toll on your self-esteem and your drive.
Right.
So at that point, I just wanted to go test the waters elsewhere.
Yeah,
After seeing experience a lot of that for a few months.
kind of reminds me of your soon-to-be opponent, Cody Rhodes, who you're gonna fight for the TNT title. Hopefully. you know, he also had the same thing because he was not treated well, just like you. And I think the best happened. I mean, he got released, you left, and you guys both did great outside of the WWE. And it's incredible work that you've done. Cryme Tyme got back together. And one thing that I want to ask you, Jay, is that you and Shad, right? You guys
Hmm.
are one of the most interactive. You guys are the most humble. You are so incredibly good to fans. Like even when you
Hmm.
don't need to. So why?
Even what?
Even when you don't need to, be so humble, be
Oh,
so interactive, be so good, be so kind, and responsive. Why? My only question to you is why?
because I remember how it was when I was a fan, you know, and I didn't really have too many. I didn't really have any. Didn't have any too many interactions with superstars. But I remember when I did, you know, uh, they weren't bad. They were okay. So I always said to myself, when if I was ever a WWE superstar, I want to make every interaction I have with fans, a mind blowing experience, something for them to remember. So I try to stay positive as much as possible because your interaction with somebody could affect them long term. It's not just that moment. I can't take a photo right now. You're thinking short term, but they're gonna remember that for years to come. So I try to make every interaction positive because I want to leave a very positive feedback on a young kid. He's gonna remember that for the rest of his life, and I don't want to ruin his self esteem or make him feel bad
Incredible,
at
Jay.
that moment.
I think it's incredible. What blows my mind is not only the way you think and how kind you are. What blows my mind even more is that I asked Chad the same question 2 months ago, and he gave me the exact same answer.
Mm,
It shows
okay. Yeah, I didn't even watch that.
shows that how much you both actually have in common. It's beautiful,
Mm.
Jay. Really beautiful. I
I
remember.
definitely know how it feels to be a fan. I was one of those guys who waited. I remember when WrestleMania came to Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania 20.
Yeah,
That was the last show I ever attended as a fan. I waited online. I waited what 12 hours online to get tickets,
really.
and I remember how it was to be a fan. I definitely remember. So I try
That's
to make it a pleasant experience for all my fans.
beautiful, Jay. I very well remember. You know, when I was home. I was in my bed. It was late at night. I had what about 15,000 Instagram followers, and I was like, you know what? I want to interview my heroes. I want to interview Jay. I want to interview JTG. Yeah. So I texted you on Instagram 2 years ago. I was like, Jay, can I interview you? I shot you a text. And instantly, in 5 minutes, you replied, sure, let's do it. I'm like, what? It just shows how you boost up the morale of some person, how you boost up the morale of a fan. It's incredible. You don't even realize how much you've helped the community. And I think the community doesn't realize how much you've done for the community. So I wanted to say thank you to you from all of us. You're incredible. And Crime Time has always been incredible and so good to all of us. I remember the Bullet Club party when I saw you, when I met Shad. incredible movie. How you were interacting with everybody, how Shad slapped the chest of that guy, you know?
Yeah.
Good, very
Make
good.
some money with that.
So, Jay, you did stuff at the Indies. So, what was your favorite part about performing, in the Indies with Shad?
The freedom, and we're very well respected in our industry. And the freedom is great. When you've been on TV I was on TV for about 8 years. You're very limited and restricted to what you can do and say on television. That's why everybody likes working the house shows. And the house shows are pretty similar to the indies because it's just you and the crowd. There's no cameras. You don't gotta watch out for TV angles or the right shot. It's just you out there and your craft and the audience, and you're having a blast.
That's great. So, when I was interviewing Shad, I asked him this question about you guys rebranding yourself as Team Sexy as Fuck. And he told me that, bro, like we were sitting at a restaurant and like this lady, I think it was a restaurant, he said, and he said that this lady comes to us from WWE and she's like, you can't use your name Cryme Tyme, JTG, or Shad Gaspard anymore. And Shad just, just stole her away and then later on you guys decided to rebrand yourself to avoid copyrights. So can you elaborate a little on that? How did that go down?
Yeah, we couldn't use the Crime Time. We started to get in trouble for like when promoters were promoting us and using the Crime Time
Right.
name. They were getting cease and desist, from
Okay.
WWE, and
Okay.
we didn't want any more issues with that. The fan pretty much knows us as Crime Time. They can call us whatever we want. Um, we are two sexy guys, Shad, and
Yeah.
it just kind of came up sexy as fuck, too sexy as fuck.
And I love the merchandise that you guys had. Is it still on sale, Jay?
Man, I'll send you a shirt. I have so many over here.
I really want
Yes, it's definitely still for sale.
it. On Pro Wrestling Tees?
I think so.
Okay.
I gotta double check. I haven't checked in a while.
All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna buy a shirt. I really want fun. Okay, sounds great. So Shad was such an incredible guy. This guy, as I said before, he never had anything bad to say about anyone, not even the lady from WWE who asked you to get rid of the name. And during the interview, I asked him about a guy who everybody loves to hate, and this guy is Dave Meltzer. And Shad had nothing but good things to say about Dave Meltzer. So
Uh-huh.
that kind of tells you how incredible and humble and nice a guy he was. Anyway, so Shad, he went away and he's no longer with us. But if you would like the audience, the WWE community, the fans to remember Shad, how would it be? How would you want them to remember him?
Oh, remember Chad as an amazing human being, amazing dad, great tag team partner, funny and very positive, radiated positive energy, and um, my brother, man, my brother, and he's still with me. As like I said before earlier in the interview, he's still with me.
He will always be with you. And Shad will always be remembered and celebrated by the wrestling community. And I just want to thank you personally for sharing your friendship and your brotherhood with us and giving us those special moments that you gave to us inside and outside the ring. He lives in all of our hearts. And I just want to say that we love him and we will always keep his memory alive so that future wrestling fans, future generations know Shad Gaspard's name and know who he was. And I'm sure that you're going to, remind everybody who he was all the time. You step into the ring. And also his son will remind everybody who Shad Gaspard was because he's going to grow into an incredible, incredible man. I know that for sure. All right. So, Jay, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what's next. All right, we love Shad, we love the Crime Time, and we want Shad Gaspard in the WWE Hall of Fame. So, can
Uh,
you tell us how we as fans, can we start a petition? Can we do something on our part to get him in there? Is there a way that we can help?
I think it just has to be social media has been working a lot, so I guess use social media to your advantage. Let your voice be heard. Just hashtag I guess Shad Gaspard Hall of Fame or Cryme Tyme Hall of Fame, and tag WWE, and let's just start bombarding them. I guess you can start a petition as well. I never really started a petition, so I don't know how to go about doing that. But petition, and also let your voices be heard on social media, and it's got to be so loud they can't ignore you.
Actually, I'm actually really considering starting a petition because, you know, he deserves it. If they can think of somebody like the fabulous Moolah to be in the Hall of Fame, Shad Gaspard deserves a whole different Hall of Fame with a whole different League of Legends. But since this is the one, he needs to be there. He needs to be there, and he will be there. Anyways, let's move on. Let me ask you one more time and bother you with this question one more time. Is JTG all elite? Let me be more specific. Is JTG fighting Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm ready. I think I'm in the best position in my life. I'm in the best shape of my life, and a lot more wiser, smarter. My conditioning is crazy, as you can see it on my Instagram page.
Right.
I train like a beast. I'm on the battle ropes for like 11 minutes straight. I'm picking up 195-pound dumbbells and benching them. Yeah, and I'm in the best shape of my life. So anytime, it'll be this time for that for me to go out there and show out at All Elite Wrestling. It'll be now.
You got to make All Elite really elite. You will make it elite, and I'm waiting for it. I'm really looking forward to it, really. So, Jay, talking about your workouts and your body, I really want to build my own body, and I want to start with my arms. So, as you said, your book is coming out this November, correct? Is that November?
No, not November. I'm going to say September.
September. All right, this September, it's going to be PDF. So, guys, everybody listening to me right now, if you want arms like JTG, you got to buy his book. His book is coming out. His fitness book is coming out with all of his secrets this September. It will be available on Amazon, and it's got to be in PDF and for your Kindles and iPads. And if you want to know the secrets that go behind WWE, the backstage drama, the heat, how Cryme Tyme got fired, how they got back, what really goes on, how shades can hurt your career, you got to buy JTG's books. Damn, Why Did I Write This Book? And Damn, Why Did I Write This Book Too? Now available on Amazon. Jay, thank you so much. Such an honor, such a pleasure having you on here. And I've noticed something funny. We've been having these talks since 2018, and we always do one interview per year. So 2018, 2019, and 2020. I'll look forward to 2021, Jay.
All right, no problem. I have a lot more projects and things to be promoting.
Yeah, we're going to be promoting it. So Wrasslinews is basically, JTG News. It's your page. It's your community.
I appreciate it.
So you do whatever you want, all right? You can take the password. After this thing, I'm going to give you the password, all right? Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. Thank you, listeners. Thank you.
And this brings us to the end of a very special episode number 4 with Cryme Tyme's very own JTG. If you want to see Shad Gaspard in the Hall of Fame, make some noise on social media and tag the WWE. As always, we will be back next Tuesday and every other Tuesday after next Tuesday with your one and the only The Wrassingh from Wrasslinews. Don't forget to share the episode with your friends, family, and fans around the globe. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.